In 2026, there is a quiet race happening among Britain's wealthiest families, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with the stock market. It is not about picking the next hot share. It is a race against the calendar. Somewhere in the home counties, right now, a couple is sitting at a kitchen table, watching a clock that almost nobody else can even see, because there is a specific, perfectly legal, mathematical side door built into your pension, and that door is about to be locked. If you walk through it before the deadline, you can move a fortune out of the reach of HMRC, sheltered and growing. Miss it, and the door does not simply close for the year. It disappears, and the money behind it is gone forever. This is the hidden clock. Today, I will show you exactly how the wealthy are reading it. To understand the side door, you first have to understand the one place in the entire UK tax system where you are quietly allowed to travel back in time. It is called carry forward. Most people believe the rules are simple. You have an annual allowance, and in 2026, that allowance is £60,000. That is the maximum you can pour into your pension in a single year, while the taxman actually rewards you for doing it. Contribute more than £60,000, most people assume, and the party is over. But that is not how the wealthy see it at all. They know about a mechanism buried deep in the legislation that lets them reach backwards through the years. Carry forward allows you to scoop up any unused annual allowance from the previous 3 tax years and drag it forward into today. So in 2026, you are not just standing in the present. You are reaching back into 2025, into 2024, and all the way back into 2023, mopping up every last scrap of allowance you never got around to using. Think of tax relief as rain. The ordinary Briton puts out a single barrel each year to catch the tax relief rain. When that barrel fills up, when they finally hit their £60,000 limit, they assume the rest of the water simply runs off the roof and vanishes down the gutter. But the wealthy do not use a barrel, they use a hidden pump. That pump lets them travel back to the years when it rained hard, the years when they never bothered putting a barrel out at all, and it draws every drop of that forgotten water forward into one enormous future reservoir. While everyone else stands out in the drizzle with a single bucket, they are quietly filling a tank the size of a swimming pool, and they are doing it now, in a hurry, because they can feel the tax drought coming over the horizon. So why the sudden panic, months before spring? Because the government is now eyeing Britain's retirement pots the way a thirsty man eyes a full well. Pension tax relief costs the Treasury tens of billions every single year, and more than 2/3 of that money flows straight to higher rate and additional rate taxpayers. To a chancellor hunting for revenue, that is not a reward for prudent saving. That is a target painted in bright red. And that brings us to the rumour that simply will not die. Ahead of the autumn budget, the whispers are circulating once again that the government could scrap the current system entirely and replace it with a single flat rate of relief for everybody. 30% for every saver, regardless of income. On paper, it is dressed up to sound fair. In practice, for a high earner, it is nothing less than a success tax. Today, a top earner can receive relief worth up to 45% of their contribution. Under a flat 30%, that very same saver is handed a far lighter shower of rain, and the difference, compounded across a lifetime, is genuinely staggering. Now, to be completely clear, that is a rumour, it is speculation, not law. In the last budget, the government looked hard at this exact idea and left pension relief untouched. But the wealthy do not sit and wait to find out. They move while the door is still open, because if these rules ever do change, there is often no warning and no second chance to go back. Here is another way to see precisely what they are doing. Imagine that to reach your retirement, you have to cross a bridge and there is a toll to pay. Today, because you are a high earner, the government hands you a discount voucher worth up to 45% of that toll, nearly half, straight back into your pocket every time you cross. But there are rumours the vouchers are about to be cancelled and swapped for a smaller one, worth just 30%, handed to everyone equally. So what do the wealthy do? They do not cross once and hope for the best. They buy the credits in bulk, right now, while the vouchers are still worth a fortune, prepaying years of future crossings at today's generous discount before the booth quietly changes its rates. So let us do the maths. because this is where it becomes almost unbelievable. Take a single high earner in 2026. This year's annual allowance is £60,000. Now reach back through carry forward into the 3 previous tax years, and if those allowances went unused, that is another £180,000 sitting there, waiting to be claimed. Add them together, and one individual can pour up to £240,000 into their SIPP in a single tax year. Now make it a couple. If both partners have the earnings and the unused allowance behind them, they can each move that same £240,000. Together, on any quiet morning, over a single cup of coffee, at that same kitchen table, a husband and wife can shift up to £480,000 into the tax-free environment of their pensions. Nearly £500,000 lifted clean out of the taxman's reach in a single afternoon. That is the feeling the wealthy are chasing. The quiet satisfaction of realizing you have outmaneuvered a system designed to prune your growth. But before you reach for the phone, you need to hear the warnings, because this side door has a lock of its very own, and that lock is your earnings. Carry forward lets you smash straight past the annual allowance. What it does not let you do is smash past your own salary. You can only receive tax relief on personal contributions up to the full value of your net relevant earnings for the year. In plain terms, you cannot get relief on more than you actually earn. If your income is £100,000, you cannot personally contribute £240,000 and expect relief on all of it. This is precisely why the strategy remains a high earner's secret. The bigger your income, the wider the door swings. So before you move a single pound, dig out your P60 and check exactly what you earned. And there is a second trap, and it catches the very people this strategy is built for. If your adjusted income climbs above £260,000, your annual allowance begins to shrink. It is tapered away, pound by pound, and for the very highest earners, above £360,000, it can collapse all the way down to just £10,000 a year. So the wealthier you are, the more carefully these numbers must be run, and very often, the more you genuinely need a professional to run them. One final caution: if you have already dipped into your pension through drawdown and taken taxable income from it, you may have triggered a separate limit that slashes your allowance to £10,000 and switches carry forward off entirely. And remember, once money crosses into a SIPP, it is locked away until at least age 57. This is a long-term move, not a lever to pull on a whim. So how do you actually work the manual override? You start with a single phone call. Contact your pension provider and ask them directly for a carry-forward statement. That one document lays out, year by year, exactly how much unused allowance you are sitting on, reaching back through 2025, 2024, and 2023. Then you watch the calendar like a hawk, because this clock is entirely real. Every year, on the 5th of April, the oldest year in your 3-year window drops off the edge and is lost for good. When this tax year ends, the allowance from 2023 simply vanishes, and whatever you failed to claim from it, you can never claim again. That is the drawbridge, rising slowly, 1 year at a time. And layered directly on top of it sits the budget, and that ever-present rumour of a rule change that could thin the rein for everyone. Here, then, is the truth that Britain's wealthiest families already understand, and the rest are only beginning to learn. Real wealth in this country is not just about earning more, it is about legislative agility. It is about knowing, with precision, when to move. The taxman's system is a forest. Left alone, it will quietly prune your growth, season after season, through national insurance, through income tax, through every frozen threshold that never seems to rise with you. But the SIPP is a fortress. Inside those walls, your money grows sheltered from that endless, patient pruning. True freedom is not about running faster inside the forest. It is about knowing the precise moment to move your wealth out of the taxable forest and into the SIPP fortress, and stepping across the moat before the drawbridge is finally raised for good. The door is still open, but if you listen closely, you can already hear the chains beginning to move. If this video helped, like and hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.